Chapter 9, Section 7 is other properties, other bases of logarithms. So what we're going to do is the same thing as we did last section, only we're going to do every other base of log besides 10. So if you have your power sheets handy, that's going to be really helpful because this is more no calculator stuff. So we're going to evaluate. As you can see, now we have a different number as our base. So in our first example, it's 2. We are going to do it the exact same way we did it before. So we're going to draw our circle, okay, of life. So remember, you always start at the base and then you always go to the right. So I'm looking for 2 to some power that's going to equal 16. So 2 to the 4th is 16. So my answer is 4. Okay, so next one, same thing, set it equal to x. Start at your base, draw your circle. Now I'm saying 6 to what power equals the square root of 6. Okay, again, anytime you have the square root, it's going to be helpful for you to say, okay, the square root is the same thing as the 1/2 power. So I know that my answer here is going to be 1/2. Okay, next one, same idea, just getting used to your powers. Okay, 5 to some power has to equal 1/25. Well, I would know 5 squared is 25, but I need the reciprocal, which means my power is -2. Okay, so remember, a negative exponent flips it. Okay, so anytime you have a fraction, you're going to need a negative exponent. So same thing in letter D. I'm going to say 3 to what power is 1/27. So I know 3 to the 3rd is 27, and since I need the reciprocal, my answer is -3. Okay, so same circle. Just remember always to start at the base and go to the right. Same thing when we do solving problems, like example E, always start at your base and go to the right. Okay, it does not matter where your variable is. So this time when I solve it, it says 7 to the 3rd equals D. Well, I know that 7 to the 3rd is 343, so my answer is 343. Same circle, again, just get really used to doing the circle. So I know I have 17 to the 0 equals x. So I know anything to the 0 power is 1, so x equals 1. In example G, things are getting a little trickier, but it's still the same setup. So I'm going to say 81 to the -3/4 equals C. And yes, this is no calculator, so remember all the way back to first semester how to break up the -3/4. That's the same thing as 81 to the 1/4 and then to the -3rd. So remember you do 1 over the denominator and then raise that to the numerator. So I know 81 to the 1/4 is 3. So that gives me 3 to the -3rd, which is 1/27. So again, remember the negative exponent, that flips your answer to give you the reciprocal. Okay, so that one's just a little trickier, but again, same idea, nothing you haven't seen before. Same thing in example H, okay, but now our y is down at the bottom. Okay, so it's same circle no matter where your variable is. So this time I get y to the 3rd equals 125. So I want to know what to the 3rd power is 125, and that's 5. So my answer is 5. Okay, same thing, z to the 3/4 equals 8. Okay, so same circle, z to the 3/4 equals 8. Okay, so now to solve here, we have to know how to get rid of the 3/4 power. Well, hopefully remember the 3/4 power, to get rid of that, I would raise each side to the reciprocal, which would be to the 4/3. So I'm going to get z to equal 8. Again, this is no calculator, so I have to break up 4/3 to the 1/3 and then to the 4th. So I know 8 to the 1/3 is 2, so I have 2 to the 4th left, which is 16. Okay, so this is nothing you haven't done before. It's just setting it up in exponential notation first, okay, before kind of solving it. And our last example here looks a little tricky. Again, just start with your same first step. Okay, go step by step. You guys can do it. So t to the -5/6 equals 1/243. Same circle. Again, to get rid of a power, you have to raise each side to the reciprocal. So that means I'm going to raise each side to the -6/5. Okay. Make sure that you realize that's an exponent. Okay, you're not multiplying it. So now I have 1/243 to the -6/5. Well, I'm going to take care of this negative first because I know a negative flips my answer. That means I can have 243 to the +6/5. Okay, so what I did, again, I'll do that again, because this is a negative, negative flips what's on the inside of the parentheses, so I can make it positive down here by making that 243/1. Okay, so I flip that. And now I can break it up to be 243 to the 1/5, and then that to the 6th. So I know that 3 to the 5th is 243. So I have 3 to the 6th left, which is 729. Okay, 3 to the 6th is not on your sheet, so that would not be a no calculator one, but the rest of it would be. Okay, very good. So now the last two are to rewrite it. Okay, so rewrite in exponential form. Okay, that's everything you've been doing this entire time. So that would be 5 to the 5th equals 3125. That is exponential form, so that's the easy way. Logarithmic form is to go backwards. Okay, so again, if it says logarithmic form, that means I want the word log in there. Now, if it had an e, I would have to use the natural log, which would be ln, but we do not. Okay, so here is my base. So it's going to be log base 11, and then you switch sides. So of 1331 equals 3. Okay, so you take your base, you put it down to be your base, and then you flip the side of the equal signs here. Okay, if you're not sure, take a 50-50 and then check because you're really good at your circle. Is it 11 to the 3rd equals 1331? Yes, so you did it right. Okay, so section 7 is very, very similar to what we've done. Okay, it's just using any other base besides 10. So let me know if you have any questions.